What's up, everyone? It's Adam, and in this review, I'm really going over a short and quick and simple USB microphone test for the Shure MV7. And I just got this about a week ago, and I have to say, I'm in love with this mic, and I'm not even really using it to the fullest capability of what you can use it for. So, this is really just to test it out, see what the app is like, see what that interface is like when you're using this just in USB reference. If you're going to plug it into your computer and you kind of want to do a video format like this, maybe you're starting a podcast or whatever. So let's quickly get into this, and I hope this helps, and thank you for watching in advance. So what I am using is the M1 MacBook Air, and I'm going to be looking down a lot, but that's just because I'm looking at the screen here to look at the setup. So if we look at what I have here, I opened the app and I had to download a firmware update. And when I did that, it looks pretty user friendly. I honestly didn't even read the manual to try to understand what any of this means. Of course, you have your muting the mic button. The monitor mix, this is really just to adjust how much you want to hear coming from the microphone itself. So if you have something playing in the background, you're going to hear this over your own voice, that self voice. If you slide it over here, your voice, I even heard it increase, and that's why I have my earbuds in to really hear that difference. So that's all that's going to do. Real quick and simple. Near is if you got something like this, and far is pretty good. I'll do a test right here. I'll even move the microphone. So this is it up close. Now this is me moving it far away. And then I'm going to slowly bring it back just to see how well it sounds. Like right there is about how far you can get. And this is probably a few inches away from my mouth. So now what I'll do next is see if it makes any major adjustment, leaving it on far to near, just even when it's this close to my mouth. So yeah, it's a pretty big difference. It sounds like a big difference to me anyway. The tone, this is dark. Apparently it's supposed to make your voice sound deeper. I don't know. Maybe you have a late night FM DJ show you're doing. And natural, of course, which I always leave it on. And then bright, maybe, I don't know, you're doing some food podcast and you just want to make it more friendly. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up stuff as I'm doing this. So let's go back to natural. The live meters are for here. So you can see the adjustments being made when I'm talking into it. And you can see the level of gain. And I don't really care about that. It's not like I'm looking at that anyway. Night mode is really for that too. I guess it changes the colors and whatnot. But let me go back to manual. So mic gain, let's drop it down to 0 decibels. And then let's slowly bring it up. It is increasing quite a bit, so obviously that's the mic gain. I leave it at about 30. I think 30 is probably the best for me for how it sounds playing back into the earbuds, and just from doing voice recordings, what I think it sounds like. And then of course we had the monitor mix, which I tested out and showed you already. And then we had the EQ flat, the EQ high pass, and then the EQ presence boost, and then the EQ high pass and presence boost. You'd really have to be an audiophile or something to really notice a major difference. For me personally, I like the high pass, or actually the presence boost. Probably sounds the best from the playback. And if I remember right, when I was testing this out before doing this, but I'm going to guess with saying I probably like that EQ setting the best. And then of course we had the limiter. Honestly, I don't even know what that means. I'm just being dead honest. This is my first take at review. So I didn't even really look into any of this stuff. I'm just trying to give you an example of what this sounds like. For the compressor, we have light, medium, and heavy. I think light probably sounds the best. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the auto level and just leave all that alone. I'm going to keep it near and keep it natural. Last thing I'm going to do is play ambient noise to see maybe you're doing a podcast at home and you have kids, or maybe have roommates over. Maybe they're watching a TV show or something, and you're like, man, this is the only time I can get a podcast in. Let's see how well it picks up background noise. So what I'm using is coffeetivity.com, and it kind of simulates a coffee shop. Of course, I'm not going to take this into a real coffee. I don't know. Maybe I will do that if you guys actually want me to. So it kind of sounds like, I'm going to have to play this back, but it kind of sounds like it does as well as like a noise canceling microphone from what I'm hearing in the feedback. I don't know. I'd have to play it back, but obviously this isn't designed for that. At least I mean, when I look on their website and everything, they're saying it's meant to just solely focus on your voice in the sense of, yeah, even if you have loud background noise, but of course a quiet room is where it's going to perform best. But I don't even think your room has to totally be quiet. I mean, you could have roommates or family or whatever in the background, or maybe you got loud neighbors or something, or the windows open and a dog's barking outside. I think it's going to do well enough to suppress it to where you don't have to worry about recording at a different time just to make sure you get your podcast in or something, or your vocals or your rap verse or whatever it is you're going to use this for. I gotta say, it's probably the best. It is definitely. This is going to be the best sounding video I ever did. It's the way it is. And also to give more context on what I did with this test is use my MacBook, but use voice memos. And I know that's not the highest standard of audio quality for testing something out, but most people aren't going to go that crazy about being an audiophile, the next Dr. Dre about to record a bomb track and this and that. Most people are like, I just want to sound good. That's all they're worried about. And that's how I look at it too. I'm like, most people aren't really listening to your videos like that. So, anyhow, I wanted to keep this really simple, in other words, on if this is worthwhile. And I think it's a banging microphone. I swear, if I was a hip hop artist or if I sung or something, this thing will get you a studio album for sure. And as far as sounding like the next Joe Rogan, forget it. You don't need anything more than this. As far as just using a USB setup, you're going to be fine. $249. That's more than worthwhile for the investment. But anyhow, I think they killed it. This is a banging mic. I mean, you can have a studio quality album, a Apple Podcast worthy episode, and this and that. I think people get too over dramatic with this stuff. I mean, it sounds more than good enough. Like, you don't need to go that extreme. So I hope if you're like-minded like me with why I would get something like this, is just to sound way better than any other mic you can get in this price range, then you're going to be good. So thank you for watching this. I really hope it was helpful, and I'll see y'all on the next one.